The reason for they're using Dawn French is because they're changing the audience, they're trying to change the target audience they're aiming towards, and which they've aimed towards like Dawn French at her age then. They used Dawn French also because at them times she was quite popular as a celebrity herself, and it would be more appealing towards the audience when she was advertised. And in here, and the latest one, which is in 2010, they used that slogan, which is tap it and whack it. Yeah, which I really think is really good. Yeah.
As you heard earlier, these are channels that we've picked to put our advert on. We had to think carefully of what time to do it because of our target audience as well, so we wanted to suit them more. But for Channel 4, we only done the late peak because it does cost quite a lot of money and we might be struggling with our budget. But for the other three, because they're quite relatively cheap, we chose the early peak and the late peak for all three. So our audience should be able to see it multiple times.
These are the channels that we found from our research that we've done with our questionnaires. So like when we asked them what channels they do they mainly watch, and these are the main four that we found out they watch. Yeah.
In our product market, we had to go and research the Terry Chocolate Orange from Tesco, Sainsbury's and Asda's. And we found out that Terry Chocolate also have a load of spin-off products as well, like the ice cream, as you heard earlier, the mini ones. They also do other like circle ones with different like toffee, popping candy, and also the original and the mini sensations, and a spin-off of the 6-segment bar. These are all different, so it gives more the audience a wide range to want to try something new, but still to do with that product. We also found out the price of the product as well in all these 3 stores. We found out that Tesco's were doing a deal just for Christmas, and that also links to our audience research because we found that they said the chocolate bar is more relevant in Christmas. I think that was a good deal to do during Christmas. Sainsbury's was the most expensive, and Asda's was £1.50. Our competition that we had to look was when we went to Tesco's and we took some pictures. We found out that Terry Chocolate Orange was surrounded by Toblerone, Maltesers, Lindor and Toffifee. All these chocolates are luxury chocolates, just like the Terry Chocolate Orange. So we had to think about our chocolate very carefully when creating the advert to make ours look better than these 4.
Prices of the brand. Here, we had researched through the website online, which is Tesco, Sainsbury's and Asda, and we found out the prices as well on there at that time. And we found out that Maltesers within other stores, they're like 150, or like Lindor here, for example. Because Lindor is quite well known to be luxury, like they will use that to bump up the price, which is £6, and that's the most expensive. But here, Terry's chocolate it's a luxury chocolate, but it's cheap. So we wanna bring back. We're using our idea of the advert. We want everyone to identify that Terry's chocolate is a luxury chocolate as well, but it's not just used just for that. It can be used for other like situations as well.
Yeah, we also found out from our questionnaire that people said they would buy Terry Chocolate Orange over other products like these 3.
Budget. Here, when we was researching over what channels our audience watches, obviously we found these 4, and then we
had to think about the price. Because we obviously had a £1 million budget, so we had to be careful with how much we spent on that.
And the times that we wanted to show it. So some of them is mixed, but we only used it between the late peak and the early peaks. That's only because between them times we found out the audience
are most likely to be watching TV more.
And we found out through our research that we've done for our questionnaires and stuff.
Yeah. So in total, from like every week we chose 5 days a week to show our advert, and we came to a total of £721. And this was, I think, a comfortable budget, because if we put an early peak on the Channel 4, we found out we would have gone over budget. We would have made us struggle if we had to pay for props or any extras that we needed.
But the rest of the money we're going to use on props, travel, and anything else that we need.
The hire of the bar.
Yeah, hire of the bar, or anything else that we need. The previous branding over the years, from 1980, if you see here, it's quite old and different, but at them times it will suit the packaging. But then over the years, things have changed. The advert, different adverts has come in and different ideas have come in that change the packaging. And
the packaging has always been square, but they've just changed how it looked around the box.
And the design itself.
Yes, obviously it started here like a Christmas kind of tree surrounding the chocolate, and then they've kind of opened it up a bit more, and then they made it look more nice, more vibrant colours as well to make it stand out. So if you're walking along an aisle in Tesco's or Sainsbury's, you turn and see a bright blue chocolate box with chocolate inside.
But with this, we found that Terrace Shopper in the end, it still has that Christmas theme that we found through our audience even said that this chocolate suits within the winter season. So, yeah.
This is our production schedule. We had to think about when we're going to create our advert. When our pre-production, we're going to have to think about what we're going to make it look like in more detail, the timings exactly. We're going to have to film over the Christmas break, which will be fun. And then when we come back, we'll have some filming available to still do if we're missing any bits or if we want to include more footage. But that'll also be the time when we have to start editing and getting everything together and coming to the final product. The equipment that we have to use to create this advert is a camera, a tripod, an iMac to do the editing, and Final Cut Studio to do the editing on. And also a voice recorder for when we're going to say our slogan in the advert. We don't want to have someone's face in the advert saying our slogan, we want to have it voice recorded so you'll be able to still give it that feeling.
The constraints. With our idea, we thought if we can't use a bar, we can't hire a bar in London, we could use my dad's pub, which is still the same. It still looks like that because we renovated and stuff. And I did ask my dad if I could use his pub, and he said he's more welcome to do. And here, if we can't use Ben, basically we've got Gareth that's stepped up. Like if Gareth, Ben doesn't
fulfill, he doesn't tell us that he can make it and everything, then I'll have to jump in and take charge just to be safe.
Yeah. And then with the models, if the models can't make it, I'll ask one of my cousins because she's quite good looking and stuff, because she is a model. And I've asked her as well this weekend, and she goes, she don't mind doing it.
But we also have other models that his brother has as well, because he said he had 3 and 4, so they're backups, but if it comes down to last resources, then we use his cousin. We also have to think about whether we're actually allowed to film in the bar that we've chosen. So with that, if we really can't, then we'll have to take up our second choice of going into Aaron's dad's bar, which will be a safe idea.
Here, when we was researching within the copyright side of adverts, we chosen these 4 elements basically because with our advert, we don't want it to be misleading towards the audience. We don't want them taking the idea in a wrong way. We don't want them to say, "Oh, it's just a rubbish advert. It's just what's the point of the message and stuff."
Yeah, we don't want them to think that the chocolate can literally just be put in front of the girl and then the girl would literally fall in love with it. That's only our part of a joke for our advert. And
then here we chose with children. Our advert is not really. There's no offence in there. There's no explicit scenes and things that children obviously don't need to see. And we have researched within our questionnaires that within some of the adults that I know, they have children. We have asked them, I've told them the idea, and I have asked them, would you let your children see this? And they have said yes. There's nothing wrong with it. So, yeah.
We also had to consider the copyright rule. We have to play it safe with the copyright rule because we can't look back at old footage, other old adverts and think, oh, should we put that kind of idea in? We want ours to be completely new, completely unique and different. We don't want to have anything copied from other adverts. With the weight and control and slimming code, we had to consider in our advert, we aren't going to put anything in our advert that can tell the customers that it will make you large. We want it to look, we don't say in our advert as well that it's part of an everyday lifestyle, but that's the kind of we're trying to get across. Our product is also food, so we'll have to focus on the food itself rather than everything that's happening around, like the boy and girl relationship. We want the chocolate to stand out above everything else.